Welcome to Roadmap, how to take 3 listings a week until you're ready for more. Each week we interview a great agent who is consistently taking 2, 3, 4 listings a week, and we have an exciting guest today. We encourage you to take notes and apply as much of their knowledge as quickly as you can, and then use the copycat principle. If you're watching on Vulcan7 or on the Lead Gen Facebook group, you'll have an opportunity to ask questions during the broadcast. Type those questions in early, folks. Type them in early. Type. And first, let me introduce my co-host from San Diego, Carly Hathaway. That's carlyhathaway.com. Hi, Carly. How's the real estate business?
Hi, Ren. Hi, everybody. Real estate's great, as always. Definitely a good time to be a selling agent, or a listing agent, I should say. So really good. Send me referrals, carlyhathaway.com.
Good deal. Wonderful. And before I introduce our guest today, I want to remind everybody that we simulcast the show on the private Lead Gen group on Facebook. They have over 50,000 members, about 51,000 members. So we have a large audience there today as well. And we will be pausing for a commercial message during the show as a thank you to the Lead Gen folks. Let me welcome our guest today from beautiful Virginia Beach, and it is beautiful there, Anna Paduhovich. Welcome. Hi. Glad you're here. Thank you.
Hi, Anna.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you. Thank you so much.
And very important is, how does somebody get a referral to you, either to buy in the area, and we need to know all the other cities right around there that you represent as well, or if they've already have a home there and they want to sell it, or or they want a second home. You have a beautiful second home market down there too.
We
a lot
do,
of people
right.
buy on 71st Street and 67th Street and all those beautiful spots there.
So my name is Anna Paduhovich. AnnaSellsVB.com is my website. Would love any referrals. I work in Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Suffolk, and the Hampton Roads area. All in Virginia, obviously.
Perfect. So go to AnnaSellsVB.com.
At gmail.com, or my email address is AnnaSellsVB@gmail.com. Okay,
so either way, so they can learn more about you by going to, so that's your website too then, right?
Right.
AnnaSellsVB.com. Perfect. Wonderful. Good. Let's, for those of you who don't have a second home, here's your chance. It's 10% off today, isn't it? Maybe only 6% off now.
Maybe only 6%.
Well, good. Let's jump in. I want to learn as much as we can about your business. And, because there are people, Anna, when you look at this show, and the only thing we want to accomplish, we only want to accomplish one thing, is the people that are watching this show that are like, I'm struggling just to take 1 listing a month or 2 listings a month. And if they can learn some ideas, and if you can share just some thoughts on what would help them get to where they can take 3 or 4 or 5 a month or 6 a month, move up that track, what would you say to them? So that's kind of that's the only thing we care about on the show. So anything you're able to share, what's your morning like? How does it start? Oh, first, what's the goal for this year? Let me ask that first. What's the goal for this year?
My goal is to make $1 million this year, and I'm on track.
Yay! Are you on track to make $1 million?
I am on track.
Yes,
Nice.
That's all of our goals, I think.
Right?
Good for you.
Thank you.
So exciting, $1 million. You're going to hit it.
Exciting.
What's that in units? What do you, how many homes do you have to sell to do $1 million in commissions?
It's hard for me to say that because my year is so different than it was last year. Last year I sold 90 homes. This year I've sold 68 so far, but my price point has gone way up. So
okay.
I may not, originally I was saying I was going to sell 160 homes, but because my price point has gone up so much, it may be that I don't sell 160, but certainly in the 120, I would say.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
A nice easy 10 a month, huh?
10 or 12.
10 or 12 a month. Good.
Okay. So
That's
12
wonderful.
a month, that means you must have a really strict work schedule. I bet you run your business like a business.
I do. You're right.
Okay. So like Ren said, can you talk to us a little bit about your morning routine and what time you wake up through when you start working?
Absolutely. I'd be glad to talk to you about it. My regime is very strict every morning. I do not deviate. I get up at 5:15. I work out. I have a kind of a power hour where I do some visualization. I write my goals down for the year, for this year, 5 years, and into the future. I have an accountability partner that I share those with every single day. And that takes me up to about 9 o'clock in the morning once I've showered and everything. So I start prospecting at 9 a.m. I prospect with an accountability group via Google Hangout every day without fail from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. My only job every single day is to make 2 qualified listing appointments. It's all I'm responsible for every day. That really simplifies it for me. I'm analytical, so I tend to get overwhelmed in my head. So as simple as I can make things, my goal and my responsibility for my family and for the folks that work for me is to make 2 qualified listing appointments every single day.
That's amazing. And I've heard this from other top agents is you write your goals down every single day. Do you have them in front of you, or is just something you can write out and you have that in your mind when you start your day?
So I have my business plan in front of me every day. I know exactly where I'm supposed to be and where I am right now. And that is front and center when I'm prospecting. In the morning when I'm writing my goals down for my accountability partner, I have a notebook, and every day I write those goals down so that, and some days, things change, for the down the road goals, the 5, 10, 15 year goals, those things change, but the year and the 5-year goals do not change. They're always consistent. And it's important. What's really great is when you can cross some of the things off that I've done this year, because, I'm writing all the goals down, but I'm also putting a check mark by the ones that I've hit this year, which is really self-fulfilling and self-prophesizing.
Yeah. Sounds like it. That's great.
Tell me a little more about the Google Hangouts. That's an accountability piece, I assume.
It is an accountability. Everything I do all day long, I have an accountability partner that I have to answer to. So in the morning, I have to answer to my goals. My Google Hangout group, there's 8 of us in the group.
8 of you, okay.
We've been together for about 3 years now, and everybody shows up at 9 o'clock to start prospecting. We can hear everybody prospecting, and we watch everybody. We listen to how they close a call, what they're saying, and everybody has the ability to listen to me also.
Okay. So you're watching and listening to each other as you're making calls.
Right.
On Google Hangouts. We had one other person that mentioned doing that and had 2 Google Hangouts going, Kari Kohler in Chicago. Is she in your group? Or is that?
Nope.
No.
Not.
Okay. Just curious, because we've heard that once before, and it sounds like an amazing idea to do that.
Yeah. I mean,
it's so smart.
It is. And it's so helpful to see other people, you get people say ugly things to you and you get turned down, and, it's not always an easy job, but it's nice to see that I'm not the only one that's happening to, right?
Definitely. You don't want to be like a lone soldier out there doing this all by yourself, because it's too easy to just be like, oh, I'm just going to go get a coffee instead. Oh, let me just go get a latte, whatever.
Yeah. It gets,
Yeah. So let me ask you this. You start prospecting at 9. Do you have your top people you want to start calling right at 9 o'clock? And in what order do you want to call, and who are you prospecting?
So I call expires and withdrawals. I call my sphere of influence. I'm calling past clients. I'm calling follow-up calls where I've been speaking to somebody for a little while. So all of those people are who I'm calling in that 3-hour time frame.
Okay, got it. And when you talk about follow-up calls, so how often are you following up with, say, an expired you got? When are you following up with them? How often?
So not more than 5 days. We have I have a lot of competition in my market. So after 5 days, if I can't get them, I drop them and move on.
And are you calling them once a day for 5 days, twice a day, 3 times?
So I call them twice first thing in the morning. I send an email and I text. I call them again at lunch, and then I call them at after work is over on day 1. On day 2, I call them probably 2 times. And then depending on if, the area, they may drop off my radar on day 3.
Got it. Okay. And then what if you do get a hold of an expired and you can't book that listing appointment that day? When are you calling back, and how often? But you had a good conversation, but you just couldn't book that listing appointment.
Yeah. So if I got them on the phone, I'm not letting them go. If they talk to me, and I won't stop. I'll show up on their front door. I'll call them. I'll show up on their front door. I'll text them. I mean, if they took the time to talk to me, they're going to continue to talk to me.
I love it.
Good attitude. Love that. I think we could all internalize that and try to channel you when that happens to us.
Just remember.
So on the first day. Yeah. So on the first day after you've given a couple calls, what do you say in that first text?
Are you still interested in selling your house?
That's it. Basic.
Mm-hmm.
Clean and simple. Okay. I like it. And what does majority of your business come from? Is it expireds? Is it past clients? Is it sphere of influence?
It's probably 50-50 between expireds, withdrawals, and past business, I'd say.
Okay. That's very helpful, especially to the newer agents that don't really have a huge past clients. Like, if you're getting 50%, if you're getting $500,000 from your sphere of influence, your expireds, that's really helpful to new agents coming in, I think.
Right. Sure.
So how's your batting average?
So let me ask you this.
You go on 10 listing appointments. How many of them do you take? What's the batting average?
Between 7 and 8 of those I'll take.
7 or 8. Okay. So you're running about 75%.
That's
somewhere right in there. That's a great batting average.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Highly efficient. So in order for you to do that, that means you've got a pretty thorough pre-qual. And are they receiving something from you?
So depending on, my list, obviously I'm taking a comparative market analysis and my statistics to show them. I will pre-qualify them to the nth degree. There is no need for me or for me to go waste their time. If they're not interested in listing their property, if they want to take it off the market, whatever may come up, I'm going to pre-qual 100%. I'm going to follow the Mike Ferry script.
Okay.
To every single question. And, I work on that with my coach, who happens to be Steve Powers. I work on that with him regularly. We have lots of phone calls about that, but pre-qualification is absolutely key.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, your time's pretty great. You could end up spending a lot of time driving around for,
nothing.
And I guess, and that allows you to focus your energy so much more when you're going to 3 out of 4 you're going to take.
Exactly. And, many times the one that I don't take, it's probably because they're either, we have a large military area. So a lot of those folks are renting their house because they can't afford to take the mortgage, and they end up calling me a year later.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. And I think that's really important for new agents to remember, because it's so exciting when you get a listing appointment, and then it's almost like you don't want to pre-qual because you don't want to be shut down. You don't want to know that it's not really going to sell, or right, they're not upside down, or whatever the case.
So one thing I want to make clear, I haven't been in my market very long. I've only been here probably for 5 or 6 years, five years for full time, 6 years. So this is not rocket science, and anyone can do it as long as they're doing the right things. Anyone can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I know people are so skittish. They're like, well, I don't know the area. Well, you didn't know any of the area. So
and I didn't know.
You have to learn all the streets and probably a few neighborhoods you haven't been in yet.
I like to think I've been in every one. It feels like I've been in every one, but it's a matter of applying all the principles that Mike Ferry and Steve Powers teach me and doing them. And they're not comfortable, not easy. Every day I don't get up saying, oh boy, I can't wait to prospect, but I do.
Yeah.
So you made a conscious decision to move your price point up this year.
I did.
And it seems to be working. That's going to yield you a higher amount of money. People observe different things when they move up a price point. Any observations you've made?
Confidence is really important. And I, now that my price point has moved up, I have a lot more confidence. So that's another thing to work on is your confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I upgraded everything about myself. I upgraded my clothes. I upgraded my, how I speak to people. I upgraded my car. I upgraded the materials that I use, the paper that I use, all of the things that go into an appointment. I upgraded everything. And that really helped with my confidence. And it really helped people want to hire me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're a professional and you come across as though you are.
Right.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Definitely, I agree.
Perfect. And another thing that you make some great observations for anybody that wants to move their price point up. Another thing I heard, but it wouldn't apply in every case, but I was curious if it does here. A lot of times when you move your price point up, the closings go together easier than some of the other ones. Just sometimes it's their second or third purchase. And so closings are not such a dramatic, traumatic problem with inspections and everything else.
And people can afford to do repairs too. So that,
exactly. So you're finding that the closings are a little smoother now too?
A lot smoother.
Are you noticing that when you move up in the price point, is there more competition, less competition, or is it pretty much the same?
It's different competition. It's different. I will say that in this price point, I feel like a lot of people will cut their commission, and a lot of people will buy the lead, meaning they'll take the listing too high. I have to be able to talk to both of those points because they're usually more than money. So I have to be able to address them up front.
Yeah, good. So when you're going on a listing, are you following a listing presentation script?
I am.
Are you using the Mike Ferry script?
Yeah, well, we're starting to understand that you're Mike Ferry coaching at this point, and Steve Powers is your coach. And he's a great coach, by the way. I know.
Yes, very good. Yeah. So let me ask you this: how did you really get the listing presentation down? How did you start practicing? Like, how often did you practice, or do you practice? And what are the steps you took to really internalize that listing presentation?
So I forgot to mention one of the things I do in the morning. I apologize. Part of my morning routine is I role play twice in the morning. So I have partners that I'm role playing with 2 times every morning, and we're role playing all of the scripts. So that's how I learned it.
Okay. And did you ever write it out or watch videos or anything like that?
In the past, I've written it out. I probably have watched videos too. I feel like I have it. I can sleep and wake up in the morning and it just comes out because you do it so often. You've seen it so often. You just need to internalize that.
That's great. Then you don't have to think about what you're saying next. You just say it and it sounds like natural conversation.
Well, and that's part of the confidence thing that I was able to get this year because I have all of the scripts internalized. And people are always so worried about scripts, but it's not, it's being able to address a seller's issues. And that's why there is a script, so that you have the comfort of being able to do that. Once you internalize that, once you get it, once it makes sense in your head, life is going to be a whole lot easier for you.
Yeah, you can hear what they're saying a little better if you don't have to think.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. What
do they call it? Unconscious competence. Unconscious competence.
Yes.
You start moving your lips, and you have no idea what you're going to say many times.
It just comes out.
Yeah, you don't know, but it's the right thing to say.
Yeah,
exactly. It takes a while to practice that.
Yeah. So you were saying, you don't wake up super excited to start making your phone calls and prospecting. So I'm sure you have a very strong mindset. Can you kind of walk us through that? What keeps you going? How do you not just say, oh, screw it, I'm going to go to the beach instead?
I live by the beach too, so it would be very easy for me to do that. But,
I know.
I have, as I mentioned to you, I do have a strong mindset, and I have a board in front of me, a cork board. The whole wall in front of me is just one big cork board, and I have my whys up there. I have my business plan up there. And, the fact that I've been able to check 2 or 3 of my whys off so far this year, and I'm enjoying those 2 or 3 whys, really helps me to stay on par. It also helps me to stay on par to, have all of my accountability partners, because I have to do these things. That's my requirement. And it's really awesome to be able to say, yes, I did all the things I was supposed to. And working out every morning is a huge deal. It makes such a difference in my daily, all the activities that I have to do.
Mm-hmm. Gives you the kind of the energy to get through it all.
Well,
good energy, yeah.
Yes, it does. It gives good energy. Plus, at the end of the day, I see that I've done all the things I said I was going to do, and that's, self-fulfilling is so. I can't say enough about doing the things that you say you're going to do. Bernie Gallerini said something at the last Superstar retreat. He said, if the alarm clock goes off at 5:15 and you don't wake up, that's your first lie to yourself. And he's right.
I remember that. That was a good one. Yeah, it's true.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I like it. Let's do some questions. About 20 after the hour, and we're starting to accumulate a few questions. There's a number of people that are expressing they'd like to maybe get involved or create or start a Google Hangout group of accountability where there are 5, 6, 8, 10 people. They could use Zoom or they could use Google Hangouts, one of those two. Where would you go? Where does someone go to do that?
Well, so, you just find some other folks that want to participate that you value as somebody that you'd like to work with or learn from. And you can just Google Hangout to figure out how to get everybody in there. If I can do it, believe me, anyone can do it. It's very easy.
Good.
So, the first thing is to find the partners that you want to be accountable to.
Maybe they just need to find one person and then a second and then a third over the course of a month and build it up gradually.
Absolutely.
Hand pick them.
Yeah.
And, the rule is pick somebody that's doing as much or more than you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Steven's asking how many people are you speaking with before you reach your goal of two listing appointments per day?
Probably 50.
Okay. So your skills are really, really high because a lot of times it takes much more than that.
It may, and it wasn't always this way. I mean, I wasn't always able to do this. It started out probably like 100, but as I've gotten better at it and more confident, it becomes easier.
Okay.
Tim Creech has a couple questions. First, he wanted to know about accountability partners. How long do you keep them? Do you change them out? Things like that. I imagine it varies with how strong they are.
It does.
Whether they're showing up.
Well, right, and that happens. You get a flake that doesn't show up. But now I have really good accountability partners, really good ones. In some cases, I've been with for 2 or 3 years.
Fantastic. Yeah. So you just accumulate, play some old mate. On Vulcan7 site, we have some links to different places where you can find role play partners, probably some same places you went. Also, he was wondering, do you have any, I guess there's rewarding ourselves and then there's also the negative consequence. He said, do you have any penalties you use to make you stick to your schedule? Do you have anything like consequences if you don't follow your schedule?
Yeah, my bank account.
Ouch. Yeah, $10,000 less this week. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, I have people that I am responsible for. I have team members. I have accountability to my husband. So there's folks that it's not just me. They're people that I'm responsible for. So I wanted, and buyer's agents. So I have to meet those numbers. It's not an option not to.
Good for you.
Good. Perfect sense. What is on Facebook, Brandon DeFore wants to know if you can, chat about your listing presentation a little bit, a couple comments on, what that looks like and why it's so strong and how long it is and, stuff like that.
Yeah, I shouldn't be in anybody's house for more than 30 minutes. If you're there for more than 30 minutes, you're killing yourself.
You're in and out 30 minutes. Do you realize most agents watching this show right now are in there a lot longer than that when they get
I do know because I'm usually coming in and they're still there. So 30 minutes in and out. Get your act together and make it 30 minutes because nothing good is coming after 30 minutes. That's number one.
I agree.
Make a huge point. Yeah. So you could do several in an afternoon. Hmm?
Yep, I can.
How many? 3, 4?
I've had 5 appointments in a day before. That's a lot, but it's enough to turn appointments down. So.
Okay. But if they were 2 hours long, you wouldn't.
No. There is no need under any circumstance for anybody to be in anybody's house for 2 hours. No need.
You would think.
They're already toning you out by then. They're just when
after 30 minutes, they're toning you out.
Yeah. Good.
They're looking for a for sale by owner role play. Somebody wants to. Elena wants to hear a for sale by owner role play. You open to doing that?
So yeah, I would be happy to.
We could have some fun with that. Yeah. What? So Carly's a for sale by owner, and where? Yeah, you're in Hampton Roads or Chesapeake or somewhere, aren't you, Carly?
Yep.
So ring.
Do you want me to call?
She's calling.
Hello.
Good morning. My name is Anna Paduhovich. I'm a local realtor here in town, and I noticed that your house is for sale on Main Street. Was calling to see if you're selling it yourself. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. It is. Do you have a buyer to bring me?
You know, Carly, I do work with a lot of buyers. I'm curious, when you sell your house, where is it that you're planning on moving?
I am moving to San Diego.
Oh, that's exciting. I bet you're excited to move to San Diego, aren't you?
I can't wait. I love the weather there. I love Balboa Park. I'm very excited.
Oh, good. So tell me, what's taking you to San Diego?
I'm retiring and I'm just going to live the beach bum life.
Wow, you have so much to look forward to. I know you have to be so excited about that.
I really am. Thank you. I'm so excited.
So I'm curious, how quickly are you hoping to get your home sold so you can get to San Diego and get retired and be a beach bum?
I know. I'd like to have it sold within 2-3 months tops.
So 2 to 3 months. Okay. And let me ask you, I'm curious, is the main reason that you decided to sell your home, is that because on your own, is that because you're trying to save on commission?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to pay commissions out. It's a hot market right now. I know I can get it sold. And, you know, if anything, I'd rather give that money back to the buyer.
I understand. So you want to save that money and potentially give it back to the buyer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, Carly, if I could show you how I can help you to net more money than if you were to sell it on your own, and that's even after I get paid, would that be something that you might be interested in taking 5 or 10 minutes to see?
I mean, I guess I'm having an open house this Saturday. If you want to just come by, you can.
Listen, what a great idea for you to have an open house. That certainly gets you out there and in front of buyers.
Thank you. I'm making cupcakes and I'll put balloons out and stuff.
Well, listen, it sounds like you're doing a lot of the right things.
Yeah, I think so.
At the end of the day, if I could put more money in your pocket, wouldn't it make sense to take 5 or 10 minutes to meet with me to see how I can do that for you?
Yeah, it would. I mean, my goal is to make the most money possible. That's why I want to do it myself.
Well, great. Why don't we do this? Why don't we set up an appointment? There's certainly no obligation on your part to use me. But what if what I say makes sense? It would make sense for you to list the home with me, right?
Yeah. I can't argue with that.
Well, great. What time works for you this evening? 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock?
Let's do 5 o'clock.
Perfect. And then I'd go into the prequel after that.
Perfect. Great. Awesome. That
Very
is great.
Good. That was really good. I love how you got me excited about moving to San Diego. I think that's really key because you turned my attitude around and made it really positive.
That's what you have to do, especially when you're on the phone with for sale by owners, because they're getting called by all these other agents. They're getting called by all these other people. And, you know, if you can't provide value, why do they want to waste their time talking to you?
I agree. That was great.
Somebody wants to hear your prequel role play.
So it's the Mike Ferry prequel. All of those scripts.
Just all those questions. Good. I
don't do that.
So they can go there if they want to download that one. Yeah.
Right. Anna, let me ask you this. If you are on the phone with someone for a while to get the appointment, do you always pre-qual right after, or do you maybe call back the next day, or how do you do that?
100% of the time. I'm not putting anybody down in my book unless they have been pre-qualified.
Gotcha.
Okay. Even if you're on the phone for a while, you're going to pre-qual right after.
Well, why not?
Patrick Bain wants to know, how will you net me more if I'm not paying a seller's commission?
So, you know, when you get to see the seller and you're sitting down, you're going through everything that you're going to do, there's absolutely 100% value in using us. You know, NAR says that they take about 8% less than when they're for sale by owner. And, you know, being able to explain that to them is important because they don't understand. They don't realize that buyers are going to offer them less because they think there's not another agent on the other side.
Well, there's a lot of risk in that whole process.
Well, there's a lot of risk. And there's a lot of stuff that you don't know about.
Yeah, a lot of fall through risk. And So, perfect. That's great because that's, and again, Patrick, she's not saying that over the phone, only in front of, so when they ask how you would do that, you're going to say, great, what would be better, 4 or 6 o'clock, and meet with them and
Yeah,
lay it
we're
all out.
doing-
Because it's not a one sentence answer, is it?
I'm not doing any selling over the telephone. I only sell face to face. So
Right.
I'm not doing any selling over the telephone.
That's where agents get in trouble so much. You know, they get drawn into doing a presentation over the phone.
And that just doesn't happen. It's not worth anybody's time then. So, and
No.
if they ask you that, that's great. I'm more than happy to show you what time works for you, 5 or 6.
Sandra Milano, she's a brand new agent. What are reasonable goals and how long does it take to be able to convert like you talk to 25 people to get one person to meet with you? What, I don't know what the answer to something like that would be, but any comment you want to make to somebody brand new like that, you know?
Listen, this is a really fun business. It's a great job. You're so blessed to have it. Just be tenacious and make it fun. Joke with people, have conversations. The most important thing you do is have conversations with people every single day. So just focus on that. Have conversations. Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, we do, don't
Great
we?
advice.
Or we get distracted, or we don't make it. It's a context.
All of those things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this has been great, Anna. I am just thrilled that we got to do this, and there's a lot of valuable stuff. Several people are going to want to play this over and over and over again.
Yeah, that was a great role play. I think we all got a lot of great takeaways from this. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that a lot. Let me read my my little commercial, if you will. So if you're listening, if you're watching on Vulcan 7 and you want to get involved with the Lead Gen Facebook group, who airs this show as well, they're at facebook.com/groups/got objections. Also, I want to thank Aaron Wittenstein, who runs the group. He has a program called expiredmasteryelite.com. And finally, if you're watching on Facebook and you're not yet involved with Vulcan 7, make sure to sign up at vulcan7.com/lead gen for a special deal. And then most important, Anna's secret. She hasn't shared it yet. What she does, she makes her calls, gets on the phone at 9 o'clock, calls through till about lunchtime. And then to reward herself, she didn't tell you what the rewards were. It's only one thing. It's delicious. Grater's mint chocolate chip. You can buy it anywhere in North America. Just go to graters.com. Only the mint chocolate chip. Only the mint chocolate chip will help you get listings. All the other ones are for buyers. And if the house is struggling to sell, dig a hole in the front yard and bury it upside down. It will get the home sold. Appreciate everybody being here. And next week, we'll have another exciting guest. It'll be hard to top this one, though.
I know, this was a good one.
Appreciate it so much, Anna.
Have a great day.
Bye.
See
Thank you
everybody
so
next
much.
week. Thank you, everybody.